Welcome to the Wrestling Aroundup with me, Terry Peters. I'm joined today by world famous journalist Aaron Franklin.
Oh, messed it up again.
Aaron
One week, you might get it right.
I need to listen, don't I? But I'm joined by Aaron Franklin. Aaron, how are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you, Peters?
Excellent. Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. Saw Morbius early. Absolute shite. Do not go watch. There you go. There's a Wrestling Around. There's a
Peters' recommendation for the week.
Sonic 2. There you go. I'd recommend going to see that. It's fantastic.
Not even seeing the first one.
It's pretty good.
On Netflix now, I believe. So
is it?
Check it out. Yeah, the first one is
Idris Elba plays Knuckles as well, which is fantastic. So
do like Idris Elba.
Would recommend the second, but watch first. And I'm also joined by Scoop L. Scoop, how we doing?
Scoop L. I'm not bad. I thought I'd caught you out by hitting record just as you took like a massive gobful of rice, but none the wiser.
I knew it had happened, but just carried on. Didn't I?
Everyone just carried on. Disappointing. I was expecting just a splutter of rice and a welcome to Wrestling Around, but nothing.
Food comes first. So it's just the three of us for the new. Well, yeah, exactly. If you're listening to Scott Mills, you can't come. So you are listening to the new show with just the three of us this week. Ross is MIA for this, but we'll be back on Wednesday's episode where we will be covering Uncensored 97, which is the debut of Dennis Rodman in WCW. But before we get to Wednesday, we've got the news, and it's been some weird news this week, hasn't there? Across all three brands. We're going to start with Tony Khan. Tony Khan has taken a tweet from Matt Letizier's book here, hasn't he? And claimed that every anti-AEW tweet is a WWE bot, which has created many memes over the internet. And even the genuine AEW defenders are sort of thinking it's a bit of a swing and a miss, this one, aren't they? What do we make of Tony Khan's tinfoil hat moment this week? Aaron?
He's a fucking idiot, isn't he? To put it bluntly.
Yeah, it's stupid, isn't it?
He's just so caught up in his own little bubble. He thinks AEW is the best thing since sliced bread. He thinks that anyone who doesn't watch AEW is suddenly a WWE bot.
I think it's the fact that even probably like AEW defenders have even sort of said, yeah, this was a bad call. Lou's got a loading mark on his head because he's quite clearly thinking of what to say on this topic. I imagine once that gets to 100%, he's got a lot and will unload. But yeah, it wasn't a good tweet. I think it just made him look stupid, in my opinion. He could have easily just gone without tweeting it and just said it backstage. You know what I mean? It's just one that when you put something like that in the public eye, you're going to be ridiculed, really, aren't you? And rightly so, in my opinion, because let's be honest, how can everybody that's ever been against AEW beat a bot? I think it was a very short-sighted opinion.
I think what's happened, Peter, is he's lost the plot, hasn't he?
Yeah,
tough week. He's lost his big star. WWE put a show on that he could just never pull off, frankly. And I think he's lost the plot. You know, even like if you have a better wrestling show, they can't put anything on the scale of WrestleMania, can they? It's just no. So I think that's what's happened. Sorry,
you go.
I should say he's lost the plot. He does this quite a lot, more than you would think. Actually, he gets very defensive very quickly. And I'm just going to say the same thing I always say. It's just mind your own shit. Doesn't matter. They've had a really good week, AEW. They've had Samoa Joe debut. They've had the Moxley Wheeler Yuta match, which he was plugging. Really good. Those AEW fans loved it.
They've booked a very good match for next week.
Yeah. So just have it at that. Why start this absolute nonsense?
It's just made himself look very stupid, in my opinion. Very, very stupid. It's the way that he started it with an independent study has confirmed it.
That he paid for.
Yeah, it just sounds stupid. It just sounds stupid. Yeah, massive swing and a miss. And then it's just like he's then gone on after that tweet to try and promote his product in the same thread.
Well, I think that's why he was doing it, to be honest.
Yeah, but
that was going to get more retweets and likes than a regular quote tweets definitely than a regular watch down Rampage.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I mean, on that front, it's quite clever to get some interaction, but it's also very stupid in the way that
it is in a way. I think what's disappointing for me is that how many kind of like wrestling like YouTubers and stuff were just like, oh, you'd see WWE doing this sort of thing, and kind of leaving it as that. Because
I've not watched any YouTubers on the topic, to be fair.
yeah, it's just a really poor way of thinking about it. Like, just apply some cynicism, lads. That's all I'm going to say. Just some cynicism. I think Alvarez was the most cynical one. He was like, "You're telling me they're not all real people?" Not buying it. But yeah, there is going to be there's Twitter bots about. I think he clarified it in the end. What he meant was it was real people tweeting, although he still seemed to imply that they were paid. Like anyone's going to pay fucking Jobber Nation or WWE Gareth or fucking Peters. But like, I think he was just saying that it was just kind of they were like real tweets, but then it was just kind of robots were kind of boosting the numbers. But isn't that like aren't half the Twitter accounts fake or something? I'm sure that's come out before. Like, there's that many robots on Twitter, like half of them are fake.
Stupid thing to do. To say that WWE to try and claim that WWE had paid for them. I don't even think WWE would know where to start with doing that. And why would they bother?
Imagine Vince tweeting this. I put everything through that thinking like if you can't imagine Vince doing it because it's that ridiculous and professional, then if Tony Khan's saying he's trying to compete with WWE, then why is he doing it?
The thing is, if Vince had done it, imagine what the outpour would have been or the reaction would have been totally different.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I think where Tony's falling down is he actually thinks Vince gives a fuck. And Vince really, really is not even bothered, is he? That is another company going on.
No,
I don't think Why would you? The biggest wrestling corporation in the world. No one's anywhere near touching them. Worth billions and billions. AEW barely made a profit last year.
And the thing is now that Vince is getting the advantage of AEW because they've let's be honest, they've made Cody Rhodes into a bigger star than he ever was gonna the first time around. And now he's taking advantage of that. So surely he wants that there. It's like I don't think he wants him to go out of business that much that he's gonna start paying AEW, whatever it's WWE Gareth and Jobber Nation and all those bellends money to try and tweet negative about him because who the hell cares, to be honest? Do you know what I mean? Is anyone going to be reading that and thinking, oh well, this someone just said something like nasty about AEW, so I'm not going to watch it now? What is it robots that have started watching Rampage in the droves over the last couple of months?
I was also having a discussion this week about Tony Khan's potential burnout because now he's booking 4 shows: Dynamite, Rampage, Dark, at Ring of Honor,
Elevation as well.
5. At what point does he have to sort of hand something away? And I can't see him.
I don't know how much he's actually doing himself, to be honest. Though
I still,
I mean, do you know what I mean? Like he spends most of his time on podcasts, I think, talking shit.
The thing is, if he,
I know we do.
Yeah, but we are booking wrestling shows, aren't we? But the thing is, as well, if he's booking them and stuff, he's going to burn out very, very soon. There's no.
But the thing is, as well, he's not putting on bad shows, is he? He's putting on good shows. So just spend your time doing that.
The thing is, he'd get more respect if he did that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tony Khan is a bot. Next up, we have the SmackDown after WrestleMania. Well, we had the Raw after WrestleMania as well, didn't we? I think it was a bit lackluster from what I understand. It wasn't the best Raw after WrestleMania.
No, nothing really happened.
There was a big debut.
Huge debut.
Huge.
It doesn't appear that Roman's injured either, does it? Like we were discussing in the last WrestleMania podcast. Unless
he is, and they're just going to not have him do much for the next few weeks.
I was going to say they could afford to have him not wrestle for a month, and no one's nice, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of set up a storyline himself, hasn't he? For the Usos to go after RK-Bro. So that could
take a potentially. Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Like, does he really need to wrestle at Backlash? I'd say no, because you could probably have the Usos versus RK-Bro. You've already got Ronda v Charlotte. Do you actually need Roman on that card?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think if he's injured for like a couple of months, I wouldn't vacate the title, given how long it's been. I think unless he's out for like a year, I think you can do something.
It's a bit different.
Yeah.
Could you kind of make a storyline out of it, couldn't you? With like being part-time wrestler, like with Brock.
Yeah, I said Brock's probably gone away for longer with the title.
Although they have kind of teased Roman v Nakamura
on SmackDown, haven't they?
Which I think will be quite a nice little match. Though. I mean, it's obviously Roman
because obviously Nakamura's plans have been thrown out the window as well.
Yeah, but how is he suddenly gone from I'm in a tag title match to suddenly world title match? I don't understand that jump.
Yeah, losing the tag title match, no less.
Is he in the caliber of Roman in like the kind of power rankings at the moment? There's nowhere near.
But I think
I don't think anyone is unless you're using Drew McIntyre.
The thing is, though, where it's an easy feud for them to put a good, well-known name against the top star in the company, isn't it? And if he loses and when he loses, no one's going to say it's really damaged him, and no one's going to say Roman's really gained much from it either. I don't think it's just an easy feud to get him used before they get to where they want to be.
Yeah, it's like he was wrestling Cesaro this time last year. Wasn't he? I think it's a good.
Yeah,
it's a traditional law anyway. So just sticking like a internet hardcore favorite type wrestler for a couple of months,
and that's it, innit? And it just gets fans on side a little bit. We also saw on SmackDown the main.
We've missed the big debut on Raw.
Who's a big debut on Raw?
Ezekiel.
Ezekiel. I do.
Elias's younger brother.
Well, this is a fucking brilliant.
I like this
storyline. I think it's just a great storyline. The fact that he's changed all his Instagram and Twitter to Ezekiel, Elias's younger brother. I think it's just absolutely brilliant.
I think this could be a really good gimmick if done correctly, like this personality disorder thing, almost like Miz Star was back in the day.
Yeah, because I liked it. Like when he came out, like the initial online reaction was like, "Oh fucking hell, I can't believe they repackaged Ezekiel." I mean Elias. But then when the Kevin Owens just referenced that straight away, like he obviously Elias, like it was. They got a completely different route. I thought it was comic genius.
Yeah, it's great. So like I say, it'd be interesting to see if he does that sort of personality disorder thing where he turns up as somebody else each week, or he's been away that long, he's sort of forgotten who he was.
Yeah, a lot of people have been comparing to the Abyss Joseph Parks storyline.
Yes.
But I just don't see, unless he's going to stick a beard on, or they've cut loads of promos with the beard. So that he can, like green screen with himself.
Yeah.
That's what he needs to do.
It'll be very interesting to see how he develops over the next few weeks, I think, and months. The thing with Elias Ezekiel is he's quite clearly very good in the ring, but he's always been injured to sustain a run. So hopefully this time
he hasn't been injured this last 6 months. Though, has he? They just not know what's doing.
No, but I meant before that. He sort of had a stop-start run, didn't he?
I found it really weird that they took him on TV just as he came back on with the crowds onto the road, because that was
I know he wasn't injured, but then they obviously didn't see anything in him for whatever reason. Then he come back, so
jobbed him out to Jackson Riker. But but I thought he could have got a good couple of months out of his Elias gimmick when the fans got back.
Yeah,
he needed that. But
I mean, he was the Drifter for 5 years, I think 6 years. It's quite a long time for one gimmick these days, isn't it?
Be interesting to see how he goes,
especially in WWE. But yeah, I think it could be an exciting gimmick. And Cody Rhodes wrestled the dark match on Raw this week, didn't he? Against
and all the AEW fanboys have been saying, "Oh, you get the biggest star across, and then you make him wrestle in a dark match."
But they do that on purpose, to keep the crowd there all night, because the crowd get pretty tired. When I was at WrestleMania, the SmackDown after, because they had to take 205 Live in between, they put Nakamura Styles on at the end. Oh no, Nakamura and Ziggler still, just because they want to keep people in the arena while they do other stuff afterwards. So it makes perfect sense to do that, and it's just a nice treat for the crowd, isn't it?
Thing is, as well, it's an easy match to get him back into to show to sort of get him the crowd excited, like you say, going into Raw where they need to be excited. And like I say, I think
anyone complain about being in the dark match doesn't realize how it works, because you always. I mean, I'm pretty sure that the one me and Aaron went to a SmackDown taping in Sheffield, we got CM Punk versus Undertaker.
Yeah, we did.
It's the dark match. You always get the big stars in the dark match if they don't wrestle on telly.
Yeah, it's just it's mad, isn't it? How people will try and say it's mismanaged. But as I said, it was a pretty lackluster Raw, wasn't it? I think from what I understand. I
think if you're looking for returns and pops, I've only really seen Cody's promo and the Ezekiel stuff.
Yeah, I think it's quite a decent promo that Cody cut. Obviously, it was a classic Cody promo, wasn't it?
It was very long.
Ugh.
It was, but it shows that they're putting him in the world title picture because you don't cut a promo like that if they're only going to put you in the IC or US title picture.
Absolutely.
I can't wait for him to cut this exact same promo on Monday. I mean, I can't.
I would, but to be honest, I would, now he's set it out, I wouldn't have him wrestle for the title until like Royal Rumble at the earliest. I would really stretch this out.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see when they do sort of pull the trigger on him because I think he could have some good stuff with Seth.
Yeah.
Certainly coming up over the next few months. Certainly could.
He's got the Miz on Monday.
I think that'll be a decent match because they're actually mates, aren't they?
Yeah.
Actual mates. SmackDown, we saw the main roster debut of Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser, formerly known as Marcel Bartel. Fabian Eichner is MIA. What do we think of the name change for Marcel Bartel?
Don't care. Sounds more German.
Do you know what? I think it's a better name.
Yeah.
I think it's a better name.
I just don't mind.
I think it's a lot better name than Marcel Bartel anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know where Fabian Eichner is or what he's done.
Yeah, I don't know what he's going to do. He walked out on Imperium, didn't he, on NXT?
Yeah, he did.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless he's obviously going to stay down.
I never knew he was Italian.
Yes.
Yeah. Well then, Fabian.
Because Ludwig's actually German, isn't he?
Yeah, but he sounded French, and then Fabian.
And obviously Jolly Wally
sounded German, but he was Italian. But yeah.
And obviously Jolly Wally, sorry, gun to kick your fucking head in, is Austrian, isn't he?
Yeah.
But I think it'll be interesting to see what they do with those two on the main roster as well, whether they go for tag titles or...
It looks like Ludwig is just his manager.
Yeah, or if he's just a manager, it will be interesting to see what they do. I think because they're obviously well-established quality wrestlers as well, the pair of them, so I'm excited to see it. And to be fair, Walter, whatever you want to call him, didn't have the longest NXT run, but I think it was obviously just to get him used to maybe settling life in America because he was initially.
He didn't need it, did he? He was on new NXT for pissing years.
The thing is, I think he initially was a bit reluctant to move to America as well, wasn't he? So they've obviously said, "Well, you won't be in NXT too long. We just need to repackage you." And I was thinking this week, do you know what? Genuinely, I know they change a lot of the names when they come up to the main roster, but John Cena was known as the Prototype. Batista was known as Leviathan. Do you know what I mean? If no one was bitching and moaning.
Oh, it happens. I think it's just because NXT is televised now, isn't it?
Yeah, literally, that's it. I was thinking this week. If NXT wasn't televised, no one would give a single fuck.
Yeah. I think the only thing I would say is they should just, like, when Seth Rollins came in, obviously he was title back beforehand. They changed his name when he joined NXT, same with Finn Balor. So that's what they should do. And people just get used to it by the time on the main roster.
I think the thing is, though, they've changed the direction of NXT now, haven't they?
Yeah.
As well? Because I think that's the other thing is obviously NXT has totally changed direction in the last 6 months. Did it change to 2.0 to back to what they actually want it to be, like an OVW style thing? So I kind of get why they do it. But if it wasn't televised, the name changes wouldn't be as big a thing as what they are.
Yeah. But I mean, like, you know, you've gone from Walter to Gunther. It's gone from one random German first name to another. Right? It's like going from like Dave to Steve. Like,
yeah, I mean, again, Walter's fine, Gunther's not as good, but it is what it is. You just got to get on with it. I mean, I've known people stop bitching and moaning about it now. But it wasn't the only name change we saw on SmackDown this week because Raquel Gonzalez got called up and she's now Raquel Rodriguez.
Yep.
Yep. Fine. Inoffensive. Do you know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah, don't care. Yeah. Although, didn't she just win the NXT tag titles?
No, she lost it.
Did they lose?
Yeah,
I can't remember how it happened. I'm sure they won.
Yeah, they won, but then they lost it on NXT.
Oh, they lost
it
on
NXT directly. Right.
Missed that completely. That's why I'm not a world-class wrestling journalist.
I'm sure it was Hair and Dakota Kai that won at Stand and Deliver.
We've done an entire news podcast. I've just missed the entire show apparently. So
yeah. Well, this is why you join us because obviously it's always chaos.
That's why we've got the world-class wrestling journalist Aaron Franklin with us.
Exactly.
Yeah. Try and keep up with it.
But again, I think she'll add something very different to the women's division. I hope she comes in as sort of a Beth Phoenix style powerhouse because obviously she's a very tall lady, isn't she? A very powerful lady. So
she was flirting with the what they called the two fellas, Los Lotharios. So that's good.
Los Lotharios, I don't even know who that is.
That's Gaza.
Angel
now. Angel and Humberto.
God, I forgot they even existed.
Yeah.
I
So
forgot they even existed. Humberto Carrillo was the former US champ, isn't he?
was he?
Yeah, I'm sure he was US champ.
Ah, well done, Humberto.
I'm sure he wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was, but he was like really bland, right?
Yeah, then that's probably why he's where he is. Because they were both like predominantly on Raw for quite a while, weren't they? Angel Garza. And they were with Austin Still. Were they with Austin? Yeah.
Austin Theory. They were
that
WrestleMania, WrestleMania 36. They
I thought they were. Oh no, I'm lying. Humberto Carrillo wasn't the US champ. I think he might have gone for the US champ, maybe.
Yeah.
That's might be what I'm thinking
He
of.
was in that like never-ending feud with
Was it Drew?
it's not really serious.
not Drew.
Oh, Andrade.
That
it might have been Andrade, yeah.
I think that's what I'm thinking of. It was Andrade.
Yeah.
But so yeah, fair dues. Other than that, I think we had the setup for Nakamura Roman Reigns, which we briefly touched on. Other than that, I think again it was a pretty uneventful SmackDown.
The Usos are going to Raw to unify the tag titles. That was the big takeaway.
Yeah, that was the big one.
So yeah, that's going to cover probably 2-3 months worth of storylines for
them. I think they're just doing it on Monday.
Are they just trying on Monday?
I think they're just going on Monday, aren't they? Just
I don't think they'll win it on Monday.
No, they'll drag it out to Backlash, I reckon.
That's what I meant. Sorry, for a couple of months. I think they'll have a bit of a struggle and then it'll end, and then that'll be the imploding of RK Bro as well.
I think so.
Because that needs to be happening at SummerSlam, doesn't it? That match.
Yeah, I think that'll be a really good match.
I think the only problem is with unifying all these titles. I think it's great. However, they need to put a mid-card women's title in.
Yeah.
Because if they're going to unify the women's titles, it leaves them with one title between the whole roster of women.
I don't think they do. I don't think it'd be just as misused as what the tag titles are.
Yeah, I think they should do it just for equality. I think.
Yeah,
I don't think they will.
Well, sexist Peters, of course you won't.
Yeah. You invite QT Marshall down here.
I just don't think it's needed personally. Because I don't think there's
the roster's very thin, but I think
I don't think
a big perception they should do.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I do get what you're saying.
But I think the main point of them unifying the tag titles, is just to get the bloodline on both shows. I don't think they've thought any further than that.
No, and that's it. And then that'll be the imploding of RK Bro, and that'll set something up.
Yeah, but I think it's literally just so they can get Roman and his posse on both shows.
On both shows. We also had some wrestling weddings this week. Did anybody see who got married?
Yeah, both. I saw both. The first one,
Corey Graves and Carmella.
Bell and Graves, yeah. And
so they'll be having some sort of sex celebration in the middle of Raw.
And
Alexa Bliss and Ryan. I don't know his last name.
Mr. Nobody, yeah.
Some random guy. Is he a wrestler?
No, he's a singer.
Yeah, he's in like a real shit pop punk band.
Yeah, I don't really know who he is, to be honest. But congratulations to them both, even though we just like them both off. From everybody at Wrestling Around. Some former stars making appearances at both weddings. John Moxley was at Carmella and Corey Graves as well.
Didn't he wear a suit? Stand up in his hoodie.
Just turned up in like
in a Bengals t-shirt and a fanny pack. It was fantastic. He had a shirt on later on. That might be in the evening. He might dress up a little bit, but the man never gives a fucking fair play. And then we are going to move on to still John Moxley.
Before you do that, we've missed the best wrestling wedding outfit of the week.
Go on then.
Which is Braun Strowman, Alexa Bliss's wedding.
I have not seen the picture.
I implore you to search for Braun Strowman on Twitter right now and find it. It's quite the look. I don't know what the fuck's going on with Braun Strowman's hair.
Well, you've done it into like a love heart kind of thing.
It's like it's like some sort. It looks like a Road Warrior thing from the front.
But
that's the one. Look at that.
I literally opened Instagram and it's the first photo.
Bright pink shirt, matching pink Crocs. That's what I'm talking about.
It's called.
Didn't realize that was Braun Strowman. Yeah. Fantastic.
He's had quite the week on social media as old Braun.
He's stolen Keith Flint's hair.
I thought you were going to say Keith Lee then, yeah.
No, Keith Flint. Yeah. Ember Moon was apparently there. Raquel Rodriguez, she was there as well. Kayla Braxton, Liv Morgan, Maurice, Lana, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Nia Jax, and The Miz all there as well, I do believe, from a tweet I've just seen. So yeah, congratulations to both the happy couples from everybody at Wrestling Around, despite us just liking your partners.
Oh, so it just means that Carmella and Corey Graves are going to be even worse than what they were.
Mm-hmm.
They can't go much worse, can they? But
Well, I think they are gonna just.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not saying they won't,
Unbearable.
but there's not much
Unbearable.
worse they can do.
So who is the most unbearable wrestling couple then? Is it them two? Or is it Ty Conti and Sammy
Oh,
Guevara?
Ty Conti and Sammy Guevara. Jesus Christ, they're horrendous. Absolutely terrible.
Yeah, but at least they're not shoving it out in your throat like Corey Graves does.
I mean, they are. They took a
Wow.
naked photo with the title, for fuck's sake, and then
Yeah.
say, give us some peace and privacy, and then put that up.
Cheers, done it.
You
Yeah.
don't have to follow them, so you don't have to see that. But
I did
if you
follow them. I think it came up on my timeline because all the AEW fanboys were having a fucking tug over it, weren't they?
I mean, you had to as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it was awkward, really. And Sammy Guevara's got a real weird one bit of hair patch on his leg, which was odd. Picked up. So yeah, I think they're more annoying personally because they do it both offline and online. Whereas at least Carmelo and Corey Graves seem to keep it on TV on the most part. And on their YouTube channel where they are just talking about shagging all the time.
Mm-hmm. Top shaggers.
Top shaggers. There's a cheese grater on the floor next to a dildo. I don't really know how that works, but you know.
Oh, so what you do? No,
great they are. Yeah, I still think they're worse. But we'll go back to AEW now. I don't think there's anything else from the E to cover, is there?
Not
that was all big news, yeah.
No. Was it on Dark? It was on Dark, wasn't it? John Moxley against Wheeler Yuta.
No, it's on Rampage.
Tony
Khan was plugging.
I get lost in all the different.
Can't put a match like that on Dark YouTube.
I don't really know what Dark is.
Dark's on YouTube.
Right.
Dark Elevation also on YouTube. I think one of them's filmed at a TV studio now.
Right, brilliant. So it was on Rampage, which is Friday night.
Rampage, Friday night. It was.
I get confused because it seemed to have
it's recorded after Dynamite on the Wednesday, but it was shown on the Friday.
Right.
Rampage.
I've not seen the match. I've heard it's very, very good. Tony Khan has now called Wheeler Yuta a star, which doesn't mean anything. But
yeah, they do this a lot on AEW, don't they?
I've seen the pictures of blood literally pouring out of his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, but ain't he now being brought on as another member of
I think that's the whole point in it. They have like bloody matches with each other, and it's like, oh yeah, top lad, you, and they join the Blackpool Combat.
I was going to say, I've seen a picture of Regal shake his hand.
Yeah.
So he's now part. What's it called? The Blackpool
Combat Club.
Combat Club. That's it. I was going to call it the Blackpool Strong Club.
If they don't get Samoa Joe in on that, I'm going to be very disappointed because Samoa Joe and William Regal are just great together.
They've got history, haven't they?
Yeah, I think that would be a good shout if they could get him in there.
I'm surprised that Tony Khan hasn't used William Regal to just book Ring of Honor yet.
He might do, yeah.
Yeah, I'm very surprised by that.
He's putting too much on his plate, isn't he?
And that's what I was saying. I don't know when the burnout starts for Tony Khan, because he has got a lot on his plate.
Yeah,
a swollen roster, 5 shows to book, 2 companies to run. Mad. The man is ridiculous.
And that's just his wrestling.
Yeah. Then he's got
a football team as well.
He's got the Jags and Fulham. Yeah. And he's actually on Football Manager as well. Yeah. As a director of football. Don't think he's very good on the game.
Should hire him.
No, I think he's on about $9,000 a week.
Well, he's not very good in real life. He's lost the commentary.
True.
Terry can't afford him.
And then I can't afford Town, you're right. In fact, he's actually
sign him anyway.
In fact, he's pretty good actually. He's got 17 player judging ability and 18 for potential knowledge. Negotiating 14. That sounds about right because he just gives everyone what they want.
Yeah.
So it should be lower. Yeah. So if you can go find this match, apparently it's very, very good. I would recommend, from what I've been told. They've also booked quite an exciting match from next week, haven't they? For Ring of Honor.
So.
Mayor de Grandpa against Samoa Joe.
Yeah, it's on Dynamite. It's just for the Ring of Honor.
Yeah. I know it's I know it's on Dynamite, so I mean it's part of Ring. I don't know if they class it as part of Ring of Honor now on I don't know how it works, even though it's for the title, they could still class it under the Ring of Honor banner, or they do it on even though it's on Dynamite. Do you know like when WCW appeared?
Yeah, I think it's just on Dynamite.
Yeah. I don't really know. That's more what I meant. I didn't really know how they were doing it. But yeah, I think that'll be an exciting match. I will go out my way to watch that because everyone loves fucking Suzuki, don't they?
There'll be a lot of hitting.
There's going to be some big meaty men slapping that.
Yeah. But it's just the lack of storyline for me. But maybe I'm being too cynical.
Sometimes I don't think you need a storyline with that match. So I think you just sort of The thing is, sometimes it gives the people what they want a little bit too quickly. I think you could have waited for that match, but that will draw a lot of eyes to the product.
I suppose they always say with Suzuki though, you don't know when you're going to get him. I guess if he's been across, you just
that's it, isn't it? And I think the thing is, a lot of people that will draw a lot of people's eyes to his product.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It will draw a lot of eyes to the product. So he's very clever from the way he's done it. But like you say, Suzuki isn't always available, is he? So if you've got him while you can, just take him, especially with Joe, because they're both very similar, aren't they? Very hard hitting, very
big meaty men,
big meaty men slapping meat for a title that I suspect Joe's probably held before.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah,
I assume so.
Like I say, it's got the makings of a very good match. I've got no doubt that our good friend of the show, Dave Meltzer, will give it 5 stars.
Yes. Should we cover that, actually? We've not done that yet.
Yeah, we'll cover that.
Before we wrap up,
then, Dave fucking Meltzer.
So can't
So
remember any of the Franklin star ratings, but
he's brought out the star ratings, hasn't he? And there's one big glaring issue. But if you could just bring them up and go through them, Lou.
Sure will.
Tell them to us.
So, night 1, WrestleMania, the opening tag title bout between the Usos and Boogs and Nakamura. 1.5 stars.
I don't think you can. You can't really rate it for me. I think
you can really do a lot because
I think it's high still rated that with what happened. To be honest,
McIntyre and Corbin 2 3/4.
Yeah, that's about right. Maybe
Logan Paul and Miz versus the Mysterios 3.5.
Yeah, that's right for me.
Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch 4.5.
Yeah, he did say, to be fair, that was one of the matches of the weekend.
Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. He didn't put a rating in the Observer.
Such a dick.
But Brian Alvarez clarified afterwards that it was also 4.5.
He's just a knob. If that was on AEW...
He forgot to type it in.
If that was on AEW, that would have been 5 stars.
Well, I thought Becky versus Bianca was better. So I would have given that one the 5 stars. But that's me.
Dave. But again, 4.5 stars, like you said.
Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey, a bit harsh. I thought 2 stars.
No, I think that's fine. I think that was one of the worst matches of the weekend.
It's a heatless match, wasn't it, I guess?
And it was a crap ending with a big boot, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then Steve Austin, Kevin Owens, 3.5.
Yeah, I think that's about fair because let's be honest, it was a good match.
It depends what you go in. Depends what you go
in. In the context of the match, it was 5 stars. But like you say,
Rock Hogan got 3.
Exactly.
Right, night 2 then. The opening tag title bout, the triple threat. 4.25.
I'm surprised he gave it that high, actually.
Same.
He likes fuckery though, doesn't he? Like wrestling fuckery, just where spotting and whatnot.
Bobby Lashley versus Omos, 0.5 star.
Yeah. In fact, that was the worst match of the weekend.
Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn, not rated. Not rated. I'm assuming he got a lot of backlash for having to go at this on.
Basically, he would have rated it low, and everyone's gone, well, it's great. It's exactly what it is.
I think he's just not counted as a match because it was more of a stunt show. But
Jim Cornette fucking hates it as well, which is obviously going to happen.
Women's tag titles fell forward, 2.5 stars. Edge versus AJ Styles, 3 3/4.
Yeah, I thought he might have given that a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, they were trying. It was a match made for him, wasn't it? Not for the crowd, I thought. I said that at the time. But Rich Holland and Sheamus versus the New Day. 3/4 of a star. So somehow it only went 1 minute 41, but it got a quarter more stars than Lashley and Omos. So there's that.
Weird.
Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory. Now let's remember that in the context of the Franklin Star Ratings, which was 8 stars for the entire segment.
Yeah.
So we'll add Melters together and see what we get.
I know what he's given this.
So the first one was 3 3/4. Good match, crowd were into it. Mr. McMahon versus Pat McAfee, -2 stars.
What annoys me is that he's clearly gone out of his way to rate that and put it in and then forgotten conveniently about Cody and Seth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe it for a second he forgot to put it in.
Yeah, and then Reigns and Lesnar, 3 1/4.
I think he's rated that higher than what I thought he would have done, actually.
It just ended quick. It was a good match, but it just ended suddenly, didn't it?
Yeah, and he doesn't usually like that, does he?
So I just don't think he went long enough to give a good start. So that went 3 1/4. So you thought he was better than the WrestleMania 34 match? which you gave 3 stars between those two.
And what was the other one they've had? Was it
And just going back to 31.
I think you might give him 31 more.
Oh, it was much better than the.
Because it was probably the best out of the 3. Wait,
he did indeed. He gave it 4.5. But yeah, which it was the best match.
Yeah,
even before Seth Rollins got involved.
That was a really good match, to be fair. Even with like you said, without Seth, that was a really good match.
Yeah, those are the star ratings.
So good old Dave does what he needs to do. But yeah, so I'm still not a massive fan of him, obviously. But
no, you've been trolling him on Twitter all week, to be honest. I've actually reported your account for bullying and harassment.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Ellen, mate, continue. Any other news before we wrap up?
Well, we've got the 2 wrestling around shows, but maybe we should wait for Ross to join and do it on the main show.
Yeah, do that.
So we can inform him of what he's missed.
So if you want to hear about those, join us back on Wednesday, where we are doing WCW Uncensored 97. Aaron, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Lou, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Hang on. What? Who? Lou? Who's he?
Scoopel. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
You can find us all at Wrestling Around on Twitter and everything else. Bob Roode as well. He's waving goodbye.
Glorious. Honestly.
There he goes. The man that managed to go to Texas from Leeds in about 30 seconds flat over the weekend as well. Great effort by him. But thank you all for listening to the Wrestling Aroundup today. Join us on Wednesday for Uncensored 97.